This is the beginning of the new unit for conic sections, and circle is the first of the conic sections that we'll take a look at. So up top here, if you take two cones and you put them point to point, right? So we have, this is a three-dimensional figure. We put these two cones so that their points touch each other. And then we take a plane and we slice it through the cone. So these are planes that are coming through this cone. If you keep the plane parallel to the bases, you'll get a circle. So if you slant the plane, doesn't matter which direction, you get an ellipse, but you only cut off one cone. So that's like an oval maybe. If you cut off just a little piece of this, you can see you get a parabola. And then when you cut off both of them, you get a hyperbola. These are the four conic sections, and today we are doing circles. You did circles probably somewhere, maybe geometry. Now, in a circle, this is going to make more sense if I start down here. You have two things, right? In order to draw a circle, you have a point, and then you have a distance. And so if we make all the points that length away, and we work all the way around, we'll get a circle. So we need a point, and so that's going to be the point HK, which is called the center, and then R is going to be the radius. When we put this into the equation, we always do the opposite. So x, of course, x goes with h, so x minus h squared plus y, and y goes with k, so y minus k quantity squared equals r squared. Both x and y must be squared because that's what makes it bend in two directions. When the letters aren't squared, they don't bend, right? So we want both letters to be squared. So the details matter. Doing the opposite inside the parentheses, quantity squared, all of it is important and has meaning. So to go backwards, to pull it out of the equation, we do opposite, opposite. So you want to do the opposite and you want to do the opposite. So the center is 1, 2. And then you take the square root of that number out there for your radius. So to graph this, oh, this is going to be not good. Anytime the radius is large, it's really hard to draw. So you're going to count 8 in all four directions. And you cannot count on the diagonal, obviously. And then you do your best, this is going to be funny, to draw your circle. It may or may not look too circular. It may look a little bit lumpy like mine does, may even be pointy. It's fine. Your picture doesn't have to be perfect. Because obviously the points are there, and I'll get that you understand that that's how that looks. So then to put this in standard form is that h minus k. So we have the letter x. You do the opposite of the x coordinate, quantity squared. There is a plus sign in between these two quantity squares. Please make sure you have that. That has meaning also. And then, of course, we want to make sure you do r squared. Please don't write it as 16 squared. All right, make sure you put that in the calculator and actually square the number. This would be x plus 8 quantity squared. Now, you can write y minus 0 quantity squared if you want to, but that's really just y squared. And then 24 squared, oh wait, pay attention. Diameter is 24, so if the diameter is 24, that means the radius is 12, and we square the 12, 144. If it doesn't look like it's supposed to, we're going to have to complete the square. So we'll go through how to complete the square because we need a quantity squared, and that's how you get a quantity squared, by completing the square. That's what this is saying. So really, we want these coefficients in front of this x squared and y squared to be a 1. And so in a circle, we can just divide everything by 3. So we're not asked for anything, we're just writing it in standard form. No parts. So x squared plus y squared equals 64 when you divide that. So you don't have to write out the center or any of that other stuff. Let's take a look at this one. The x and the y squared need to be on the same side of the equation, so we need to move that. X minus 4 quantity squared, and then we're going to add that y squared in there. All the plain numbers need to be moved to the other side, so we're going to add that 52. So sometimes all you have to do is move some stuff around. Now when you have to complete the square, you'll have a letter squared and then the plain letter. So the goal here is to get kind of all the families together. That's what I call them. So we have the X family and we have the Y family. And we need those right next to each other rather than all jumbled up. So we have X squared plus 6X plus Y squared plus 2Y. And then we know for a circle, all the plain numbers get shipped over to the other side. So we subtract that 6 over there. So in order to complete the square, we need a 1 in front of the x squared and a 1 in front of the y squared, and we have that. So now we're going to complete the square. So we have x squared plus 6x, and then we're going to have a blank. Then we're going to have plus y squared plus 2y, then we're going to have a blank. And then on the other side, we have a 6, and we're going to add whatever we added over there. I'm just trying not to run into my problem number 7. So when you complete the square, you take half of the number in the middle. So we take half of that value is considered b. Then you square that, and then you add it to both sides. So half of 6 is 3. 3 squared is what goes in the blank. If we add 9 on this side, we have to add 9 over here. So we'll do it again. 2 divided by 2, that's a 1. 1 squared is 1. That goes here, and then it goes on the right-hand side as well. Now, what's kind of nice about this is these are definitely patterns, just like that is the same over and over. Taking it out of this is exactly the same. It is always going to be a quantity squared. That was why we did it. It's the letter, the first sign, and the number you squared. Again, letter, first sign, the number you squared. And on the other side, you just do what it says. We get 16. So this is the equation of the circle in standard form. We don't have to do anything with it. I just rewrote it because it was in 2 different colors. Not ask for anything. Don't keep going. Don't do anything to it. So again, x's go together. Well, we only have one x. So we're going to have x squared. Now, the y squared has to come over here, so we need to add that y squared. The 8y is just all by itself, and then we need to subtract the 13 and put that over here. And that is, I don't know. We'll just leave it 105 minus 13. How about that? So let's complete the square. I'm sort of more focused on that. So we don't have to complete the square for x squared because there is no x term. We complete the square when there's a squared and a term that just is a plain letter. So now we're going to complete the square. So I'm going to have 105 minus 13. I'm just too lazy to add that up. And then we're going to add something to the other side. So half of 8 is 4. 4 squared is 16. We add 16 to both sides. This will be a little easier to add. So we get x squared plus letter, first sign, number you squared, which is why I wrote it down, quantity squared. Over here, this is 3. 105 plus 3, 108. Here we go. We're going to do it again. So x squared needs to be over here. So I'm going to add the x squared. I'm going to put that first. Then the 2x also needs to be over here. So I'm going to subtract the 2x. Now the y squared is good. 10y is good. But we have to subtract the 2 to both sides. So there's only a negative 2 over there. Now we're going to complete the square. I always leave a little blank. It forces me to remember to fill in the blank. And it forces me to leave some space. We're going to have 2 blanks over there. Half of 2 is 1. 1 squared is 1. That goes on both sides. Half of 10 is 5. 5 squared is 25. We add that to both sides. Now we put it in the parentheses. Letter, it's clearly the x family. First sign, that's this guy. The number we squared, and we do it again. There's a plus sign in between here, make sure that's there. Letter, first sign, the number we squared, quantity squared. Right hand side, just do what it says. So we get -1 plus 25, so that equals 24. And that is the standard form of the circle. From a picture, all we need are the parts. We can find the parts, we'll be able to do this. We need the center. I'm going to draw in this picture. That looks like the center there and here. So there's our center. So the center is -5, -1. Now we can also count the radius. So it looks like the radius is 5. So again, x, opposite of the x coordinate, quantity squared. Plus sign in the middle. Y, opposite of the y coordinate, quantity squared, equals r squared. Please do not write it 5 squared. Please square the number. So try the homework out, and we'll go over any questions the next time we come to class.